Affinity diagram steps, mind mapping, application, conclusion, including the action learning debrief, and references. The introduction includes the whole system collaboration and change, involves a plethora of possible methods available for any interested and committed organization or community to change whole systems effectively. This slide presentation will introduce you to 8 methods of change and how their patterns and themes fit into the 6 elements. There was a lot of dissecting and regrouping of information during this project, which led to an awesome visual learning experience for myself. I hope you enjoy it as well. Let's get started. Process. The 3 whole system collaboration and change methods that I chose were: number 1, playback theater. My stepson, Cody Williams, who's in that picture to the right, and since I've known him, I've learned a lot about the arts and how powerful they can be. I had never heard of playback theater up until this point, but after learning about it, I think it's a great way for people to become engaged, have a closer relationship, and a better understanding with each other in unique settings. Number 2 is rapid results. I chose rapid results because in today's world, it seems as if everyone is always in a hurry. This method is known for jump-starting major change events, and it is very results-oriented. Number 3 is online environment. Experiencing an online environment is definitely a learning experience. I personally have learned an unbelievable amount of technology in just the few short months we've been in this BGSU program. The software has included ways to get connected to each other as well as ways to store, share information, and create this video. Excuse me. The affinity diagram. Excuse me. This is step 1, or the beginning of my affinity diagram. The process consisted of making a sticky note for each unique area or theme for each of the 8 methods. Step 2 of the affinity diagram consisted of organizing the data into the 6 element categories. The elements, as you can see on the slide, are system, purpose, journey, evidence, principles or values, and language or model. The system element describes concepts, people, organizations, or other things that work together to accomplish something. My examples or sticky notes seem to be primarily concepts. Another example would include departments of an organization such as accounting, marketing, etc. The purpose. This element is related to the purpose and outcome of the methodology. The purpose is also value added. Is the agreement to sell this particular system? The main question is, what is the purpose to do this? The journey. The journey element is simply the steps or actions that are taken. The evidence element is how they describe their theories. The language or principle or values, a good description of this is to describe the ways in which we act and interact with each other. How is it done? The language and model. To describe this, language or model. To describe this, you need to look for their keywords. Are there labels or visuals that were used? How is it packaged? And how do they describe it? This is a copy of my mind map. It really took a lot of my mind to come up with it. The affinity diagram flows into the mind map by categorizing each of the patterns and themes with the 6 elements in the mind map. The application of the affinity diagram and mind mapping can be very useful when an OD practitioner wants or needs to dig deep into a large amount of data or ideas. These methods break down the data and allow it to be resorted and analyzed to the point where you're thinking about things. Certain things can totally change from what your original thoughts on the subject were. Affinity diagrams provide a natural grouping of things that are related. For mind mapping, you take those groups and break them out into and break them out and slide them into other categories. For us, it was the 6 elements that were the categories. The conclusion and action learning debrief. This assignment was very detailed, very involved, and there was a lot of new information to learn. There was also a lot of new technology to be learned, at least by me. My brain has been completely unfrozen and sufficiently stretched. I struggled with this project primarily because of my time restraints. I lost an entire week while on vacation. I'm sure this has had an effect on the quality of my work, having to submit it in such short time frame. I have been working every night since I returned on Sunday until at least midnight, and today is technically still Thursday night for me. But I really did learn a lot on this project, and I actually enjoyed dissecting the data from the 8 target methods. Again, because of the time restraints, my project isn't at the level it needs to be yet, but I am pleased that I managed to at least get a rough draft completed. I'm looking forward to your comments and suggestions to improve my work. Thank you so much. And this is just the references page. Basically, I've only used the textbook, the change handbook. Thank you for your input.